There was no Truth Nigeria. There was no media organizations. And you know what was happening to those people? To Lawrence and Masara Kim and all of them? The journalists sitting in the big capital cities, the big cities and in the capital, who were taking the line from the government and didn't have the courage or the integrity or the professionalism or the character or the motivation to go to those frontline villages. They just bought the line from the government that it wasn't really happening, and they bought the line from the U.S. State Department that this is nomadic tribesmen being forced to move from climate change. The Fulani are not really terrorists. Oh, the fact that they're Muslims got nothing to do with it. Because they're nomadic tribesmen, they're looking for other land. They're looking to go somewhere, and that's forcing them to clash with the Christian villages. Nonsense. That's absolute nonsense. That is just an example to you of how climate has been used as a scam. I mean, it's not just fake. It's much worse than that. All of these systems that are being implemented that are so profoundly dishonest, they're systems of control. How do we control the people, control the information and the narrative, and then have that as cover to do whatever it is that we want to do, which, by the way, is to go into Christian villages and not only annihilate people. I mean, in one of the recent attacks that Truth Nigeria has reported on, putting women and children inside cages in the market and burning them alive. I mean, I was sitting down to dinner in my hometown in Texas one Friday night years ago. My husband was with me. It was when we were trying to get the sound of freedom was being blocked because people didn't want child trafficking to be a conversation everyone was having. And we were doing our best to help get that movie put out. And I got a video. I showed it to my husband as we sat down. He couldn't eat. And it was a young 18-year-old girl from Nigeria who was pulled from one of the villages. And as they were slicing off her head, they were digging her baby out of her tummy. And she was well advanced in pregnancy. That's the reality of what, when you put those numbers up and you go before your colleagues in Congress and you put those numbers forward, that's what it means in human terms. I mean, Lawrence once was calling Doug and myself. He's sitting in the back of a meat wagon on the bodies of his friends and neighbors with malaria. Remember, after that he went out with malaria for weeks. I mean, these the courage of the people who are on the front lines reporting this cannot be overstated. But the challenge that they face is that the media itself denies the reality that they see and report on with their own eyes and ears. I mean, that's without conscience. Honestly, I stand before all of you in the National Press Club of the United States of America, the most powerful free nation on earth, where we have First Amendment rights. And I cannot say strongly enough to the press corps, do your job. Do your job. Because we are supposed to be the inspiration and also the safety net for journalists everywhere. It is truly without conscience that you can witness the execution of people and have it denied because journalists are too lazy, too corrupt, too stupid, too cowardly to stand up and tell the truth. That is without conscience. And, we have to stop being afraid of what people will say to us. We have to stop allowing those who tell the truth to be punished and those who lie to be rewarded.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. They are now telling you what is happening in Nigeria. Now, let me elaborate what this lady is saying here. The Nigerian government are going to American government telling them that there is nobody that is being pied in Nigeria. It's just a clash because of the climate change. And the Fulani cattle rearers are moving from one place to the other in order to find new land and in order to rear their cows. So they are now clashing with the villagers. Do you see it? Now link that with what is happening in Nigeria, military giving them cover. Is it not confirmed that it is now Abuja that is sponsoring all this bullshit? The same Abuja that is sending Nigerian army to your own village to burn your villages, which means they are the same terrorists but different covers of oppression. They use your brothers who are in the army, whom their loyalty is to the Nigeria, which the same Nigeria, their loyalty is in Islamic. They use them to burn your villages in order to tell you, oh, you are looking for Biafra, Biafra Bakwaku. Then the same Fulani herdsmen arm them and tell the Nigerian army to protect them. Then after buying you, they go international. That is the second and final phase. To tell them that there was nothing like that. Oh, it was a lie. People are lying. There is no Christian buying anybody. That it is just a farmer herders clash. Is that not true? You are hearing it from a white woman, an American, and one of the key political activists. You are hearing it from them. I don't know if you are going to get sense. Those of us, which means they are again, they will send the Nigerian army into your land, which means all these people that they brandish terrorists are not terrorists. Because the main terrorists buying people, they even contribute going to international to tell them that, oh, those people are not terrorists, but farmers, herders clash. Is God not wonderful? I'm asking you. Is God not wonderful? I am Onyebuchinwa Ashiburobi, please. Almighty God in heaven is wonderful. And only Him is doing the work, to the amusement of you, the people. Now, here is where it gets tough and strong. This very woman is saying this, and I will tell you the reason why they are saying this. The world politics is changing. Nigeria is fast aligning with the BRIC. They are pleasing the BRIC because in BRIC you have too many Islamic world powers resting in BRIC. They want to sabotage the Americans in order to steal power to the Islam. I don't know if you are getting me. That is the reason why in Nigeria they made it very possible now that even their secondary school will start teaching China. Suntanchin Chagwa Soitu Asuntai Chabwa. That's the new language that they have inculcated in their curriculum. Because they are trying, the money that they borrow, the suppression, and the people that they think that will give them more hand, but they don't know that China, you cannot toy with China. China yabahe hanti. Now, what is happening in Nigeria, because I saw some people saying, oh, we brought what is happening in Nigeria to the international limelight. I just look at it and laugh. The reason why the white people decided to talk about what is happening in Nigeria is because Nigeria is fast changing their hands, going to align with the BRIC world. Instead of aligning with the suppressive regime of the Westerners, they are now trying to cue it to the BRIC world with an agenda to continue to Islamize Nigeria so that BRICS will give them cover. I don't know if anyone is understanding me. It wouldn't make sense to you. Now, in turn, when the Britain and America have seen that power is fast slipping out of their hands, they have to come up with things that are happening in Nigeria. And I would tell Putin, this very Nigeria taking back door to join BRIC or to lobby in order to do this wouldn't solve anything. You will break the wings of Britain by recognizing Biafra, which is the main place. Forget about every other place. They will divide by themselves into pieces. Just recognize Biafra. And you see the magic. This game that America, Britain, and France is playing is dead on arrival. Now, all of them knew that people are being pied, and farmer headers class is nonsense. Why are they not acting? Why are they not speaking? People are being pied, women are being pied, children are being pied. Like this woman said, those that they bake, put them in fire, yet the Western population remain quiet. Can blacks remain quiet at the wake of this very impunity? That's the number one problem that I have with the West. Very, very myopic and backward in nature. I am Onyebuchi Nwashibrobi. I don't like people not being sincere to themselves. If you want to stand up for the people, you stand up for the people because you love the truth. Not because of how will it favor you. And people are suffering. It doesn't concern you because it doesn't favor you. When it favors you is when you talk about the atrocities that Nigeria themselves are doing against the innocent population. Do you see that Almighty Chukwu Kabiama, the God in heaven, will keep on punishing you? I am Onyebuchi Nwashibrobi, please, known as a Gracia, preaching nothing but the undiluted truth. Eziokwu nke Chineke ana-akụ mmiri, eziokwu nke Olisa bi n'igwe. This is nothing but the undiluted truth. And I want to tell the West, what makes you think that Biafra will stop you from getting the oil or getting everything that you get from Africa? What makes you think like that? We are not selfish. We just need a striving environment. I see that what you said, that you don't need another Japan. Imagine the West. Very, very corrupt and backward people. They said they don't need another Japan coming from Africa. That is the reason why these very people want us to buy all of us. Because they don't want another Japan. They don't want the people to have their own freedom. They need all of us to buy. Is God not wonderful? I am Onyebuchi Nwashibrobi, please. And the truth which I preach upon this very platform, may Elohim, the creator of heaven and earth in heaven, save me from this very truth which I preach. Is God not wonderful? We must continue, please. We must continue without fear nor favor to anyone. The destination is freedom. And we must get it. This very preaching must continue. Now, here is where it gets messier. Upon telling you and reading this national anthem to you, if Nigeria decides to mellow down, the Western countries will mellow down. If Nigeria, because what they are doing now is to blackmail Nigeria, because Nigeria is trying to leave them and join China and support China, so that China will give them the desired cover to continue to buy the Christians. But the America, the France, the Britain, they knew that they have been buying Christians in Nigeria. What measure do they take? Until when Nigeria started pressing their neck of leaving them. That is because of the stand of America with Israel. You know, the Arabic nation, they fight very, very dirty. It is just because of Israel-Palestinian. Not because of the money that they borrow from China or Verego. But we will see to that. Can the Western nation recognize Biafra? Will they recognize Biafra? Or will they continue to remind us that we are being unalived in Nigeria? Like you see this very woman saying that journalists in Nigeria don't do their findings. You heard her. She said it, journalists in Nigeria don't do her findings. And it's not only journalists. I want to let them know something. It is not by journalists. What we have in Nigeria is brown envelope journalism. Those Ibadan Expressway journalists, they are very, very hungry. Remove Ibadan Expressway from Nigerian journalism. There is no journalist and there is no journalism. Include the Ibadan Expressway to Nigerian journalism. They are called brown envelope journalism because what you tell them to write is what they will write. America saying that they picked their news from the report of Nigeria means that America is now saying that they are now failed nation, failed policing nation, because they don't do their findings. No investigative journalism in America. All these years, people are being killed and massacred in Nigeria. Those of you know that. And stop lying or trying to change the narrative or trying to pamper it so that it looks as if your people are trying to protect the interests of the people. Remove the money, which is now the power. Your people wouldn't do anything. You wouldn't speak up for the people. You wouldn't. And won't speak up for the people. I am Onyebuchi Nwashibrobi, please, preaching nothing but the undiluted truth. Eziokwu nke Chineke na-akọ mmiri. Eziokwu nke Olisa bi n'igwe. That's the truth which I preach upon this very platform. And I beg Elohim, the creator of heaven and earth, to help me with this very truth which I preach. I am Onyebuchi Nwashibrobi. Am I preaching so that I don't know. Am I preaching so that I don't just know? I am preaching so you know the truth and understand that I'm preaching nothing but the undiluted truth. There is nothing better than telling people the truth. Now, here is where I want you people to go. What makes them to unalive Gaddafi? Have you asked yourself what makes them to unalive Gaddafi? Apart from Gaddafi made their country Libya one of the attractive country in Africa. Gaddafi said, as far as he is alive before 2015, that Nigeria will be divided. Na yebuwa Nigeria. Also, that things are about to happen to Buwa Nigeria. That's number one, where they started thinking of how to buy Muammar Gaddafi. That's where they started thinking of how to buy Muammar Gaddafi. I think they bought Muammar Gaddafi 2009, if I'm not mistaken. 2009 or 2011, if I'm not mistaken. That was where they decided to buy Muammar Gaddafi. Because after making his nation very, very okay, making the currency very, very okay, saying that as far as he is alive, that they will divide Nigeria. And Gaddafi was truly what was it? And Gaddafi said something, that they are going to divide Nigeria into two, Christian and Muslim. That's according to Muammar Gaddafi. And he was making dear to his claim. So they went after Muammar Gaddafi. Now, the same people who bought Muammar Gaddafi because of the things, and as you people know, Muammar Gaddafi is an Islamic, but he hates terrorism. He hates rise by insurgency. He hates it. He said, apart from being an Islam, that the white man brought their own religion. It was Mama Gaddafi who even started saying that white man brought their own religion to suppress us. So apart from being an Islamic this thing, he doesn't hold their this thing, but he hold that they are radical. That they are radical in the sense that he doesn't listen to the West. He was very, very mean. And they sought for him, went after him and buyed him because he wants to divide Nigeria. Fast forward, how many years later? They are now reminding you that Nigeria is a terror. The same thing that made them to unalive Muammar Gaddafi. We must be sincere and we must stand on our ground and know what we want. What we want is freedom. The West are nothing to be trusted. If you trust the West, you are at your own peril. The West are not to be trusted. They speak so many sugar-coated words when it doesn't favor them. You think that again and Madison, when they reach an agreement, they abandon you to your own fate. If you are being paid in a million, it doesn't concern the West because they saw most of you as commodity and they see you as a bridge to get what they want. I am Onyebuchi Nwashibrobi. The only time that we will take the West serious, the only time that we take American government serious. Look at is it not Trump that we were hoping that if Trump take over this and that, chakrara boom. What is happening now? What is happening? But I know that Elohim said that Biafra is going to come in an unimaginable way. In a way and manner that no human being born of a woman have ever seen before. That is how Biafra is going to come. Biafra is going to come in a way and manner, not Nigeria. Biafra will come in a way and manner no human being have ever seen before. And the kingdom of Nigeria will be destroyed. I have always told them, there is no empire in the world that have never divided. There was a time the Roman Empire was the talk of the town. What happened? At the end of the day, they divided. There was a time kingship were ruling France. What later happened? They later divided. They were at any very given point. Empires, including the Benin Empire, they always divide. So why are you believing or thinking that Nigeria will not divide? They will divide. Now, this is where it gets to very, very stupid as a Nigeria. I want to put things to you. The Nigeria started making defense. This particular post, please. So, Nigerian politicians started making defense, putting defense. Oh, the things are not happening in Nigeria. But here is the post of Femi Fani-Kayode. The jihadists who killed the RCC evangelists for preaching in Abuja were set free. The ones who killed Bridget, the Deeper Life pastor's wife in Kano, were set free. No Fulani terrorists have been reprimanded or jailed for killing more than 5,300 Christians in 2018 alone. 2018 alone, 5,300 Christians. Now, if you go to the page of this man and the rest of the Yaribas, that is the reason why I tell you that Yaribas are chameleon. They are attacking the foreign countries, telling them that they are running propaganda against Nigeria, that there is no spying. Nobody is spying anybody in Nigeria. That's what they are saying. But here is the post of Femi Fani-Kayode speaking. And this, I want to put other posts of them speaking. This is as far back as 2018, Femi Fani-Kayode speaking. And this one, This one is Bashar Ahmad. Bashar Ahmad is telling the international community that there is nobody being pied, that they are running propaganda against them. But here is one of the posts of Bashar Ahmad. I can't pretend or keep silent. I support the death penalty for blaspheming. That's my belief, and I will not and will never support. Are you hearing it? Bashar Ahmad is a terrorist, saying that if you insult or blaspheme, that they will buy you. They are fighting for their God. The same thing that Boko Haram is doing. Western education is bad, it is a sin. But Western bomb is not a sin. Western gun is not a sin. But the education is bad. Imagine the thinking. Western motor is not a sin, because the motor that they enter is not sin. They enter Western motor, Western Okada. The Okada that they use to commit those atrocities are from the West. In fact, the clothes that they wear is made in the West. It's Western clothes that they cut. This Okoko is fighting for the toothless Muhammad, because if Muhammad have tooth, he should have fought his battle, not Bashar Ahmad fighting for Muhammad. Now, here is where it gets messier. If you read what this guy, Bashar Ahmad, wrote, that was on 2012, 2024. That is December 20, 2024. He said, it is an honor to be called an Islamic extremist. And most of you don't know what extremism is. Extremism is holding very dear the Islamic core ideology. And what are the core ideology? By those who do not believe in Islam. By those who do not believe in Islam, conquer those who do not believe in Islam, and kuchie their woman, Sharia law, and the rest of it. I don't know if anyone is understanding me. Which is the same ideology held by terrorists. They are buying people because they do not believe in Islam. Which means another Boko Haram, another terrorist is here. How can those who are in the government supporting extremism tell you that they don't know about those who are in the bush supporting the same extremism ideology? Note, the extremism support the buying. That is the attitude of those who are in the bush. Which means those who are in the bush are the product of those who are in Asorok. But because they cannot use their army to force it, because you have Christians, the so-called myopic Christians in the army, their eyes will open immediately. That is the reason why they contact their brothers in the bush and tell them to sell out the ideology. But guess what? He is not being arrested. He is not being persecuted. He is not being asked to explain, because he is an Islam, and it will be a very bad thing to bring him to book. How can you bring him to book, whereas Asorok is full of terrorists? The political party ruling that animal kingdom called Nigeria is a terror organization. So how can you bring them to book? I am Onyebuchi Nwashiburobi. I am telling you nothing but the undiluted truth. That's the only thing that I have brought upon your doorsteps. You just got to understand. Now let us move. This is the president of Nigeria. Remember, the first one said 5,300 was died. Over 5,300. And remember that when Nigerian news or a Nigerian politician is telling you over 5,000 is being died, that means they are more than 100,000 or 200,000. They reduce the figures. Even in their myopic mindset, they reduce the figures. Now, here is now the person who went forward to become your president. In 2014, this man, please note, the terrorism you saw in Nigeria was created by Tinubu and Buhari. That is one thing that you never knew. After Goodluck Ebele Jonathan won Buhari in 2011, he won Buhari. In a polling, 2011, he won Buhari hands down. Buhari's supporter massacred over 1,200 Christians in the north, most of whom were from Igbo extraction. Then Buhari himself threatened that if he did not win another time, monkey and baboons will be soaked in blood. Nobody arrested him, but thunder fired him on the seat. He died 2017. Buhari died 2017. It was as a result that Buhari died 2017 that made them to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu the first time he was released, because they were trying to hide the death of Buhari. I don't know if you are understanding me. Then Buhari made a comment. After making that comment, Tinubu in essence met with Buhari in order to have a meeting how they will snatch power from Onyibo, which is Jonathan. But they told them that they are south, which doesn't exist in geography. Am I making sense, please? You got to share this very program. South doesn't exist in geography. They said that after having that meeting, then the next way, how can they take over power from Goodluck Ebele Jonathan? There is no credible way, if not by forming a terror organization to disrupt Goodluck Ebele Jonathan leadership. That was the beginning and the birth of terrorism. It first manifested when Jonathan won. Buhari's men went on the street buying people, over 1,000 something. And the person whose supporters spied over 1,000 something went on to become the president of Nigeria. Is God not wonderful? When we call them zoo, they will be saying, oh, why are you calling us zoo? But if you have your thinking cap intact, you will know that you're a zoo. I am still quoting from Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The slaughtering of Christians worshippers is strongly condemnable. It calls for question the competence of Jonathan to protect Nigerians. That is the figure that they want to score, the score sheet that they want to score, that Jonathan as at then was incompetent. They consistently, you heard from the now president, the slaughtering of Christians. Who bear the urge? Christians. Who are slaughtering them? Muslims. Muslim extremists created by Tinubu and Buhari. It is a joint anchor. And many of you don't know. Is Tinubu not the president? Are they not buying his own people? When the Fulani told you that they have had meeting with Yoruba stakeholders and Igbo Muslims on how to Islamize Nigeria, so what do you think? Is it not happening before all of you? Tinubu told you 2014. The mark of 2018 says that over 2018, remember, it was the late Muhammadu Buhari that was ruling Nigeria. His dead body, supposedly, was ruling Nigeria. Is God not wonderful? and in 2017, I mean, in 2014, your president knew. In 2018, they knew that it was Christians that are still being buyed, which you saw from Chameleon. That is Femi Fanikayode, very, very big chameleon. He doesn't even talk about Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, which he said, oh, my friend, this and that. Have you seen him calling for the release? He cannot call for his release. Yoruba people are chameleon. Have a Yoruba man at your own back, at your own peril, because he will always sabotage you. I will always stand to speak the truth, irregardless of what. My name again still remains Onyebuchinwa Ashiburobi, and this is the truth which I have brought upon your platform. From me, from here, from the temple of the great sea, I do not hate you. I love you. But I am speaking the truth and speaking to your own mind, so that you know and raise your consciousness to the atrocities being committed against you, which you play down. From me, from here, from the temple of the great sea. It is good evening, please.